I don't have the article in front of me, but I do have record of an early article written in the Los Angeles Sentinel, I believe.
Yes, right.
That talked about the third eye being a huge jump in terms of black science fiction.
That's right.
Being about black superheroes fighting against a vast system of injustice for the purposes of changing the quote-unquote stereotypes that a lot of black people have in movies now. Was this what you intended to do, a part of what you intended to do?
What I did, that was my intention, to create these black superheroes. That's what The Matrix was about. It's the first of its kind movie, because The Matrix is nothing but a first black science fiction. Exactly what it is. It's the first of its kind, black superheroes who are fighting injustice, because I was so sick of the black exploitation movies.
Right.
That just showed us as being pimps and hoes and prostitutes,
exactly,
dope dealers and killers. I was just so sick of that I was inspired to do something. I needed the black kids to believe in something and to can see us differently on the screen.
Exactly.
They can aspire and they can say, hey, if Sophia can do this, I can do this also, or greater.
Beautiful thing right there, because as a person who has always enjoyed science fiction, I have always longed to see that. I remember as a kid growing up, I was so excited to see the first black X-Man, you know, and just to think that this whole thing that I've been drawn into was really about black superheroes fighting against injustice, something that black people have always done.
That's right. Even a lot of the white audience picked up on it really quickly. I'm just amazed that black people did not pick up on it. A lot of black people did, because a lot of fans told me they picked up on it, but
right,
just couldn't understand where the Wachowski's equation played into it.
Right.
It didn't make any sense to any of them.
Right, right.
And then the white people were like, whoa, I can't believe this. There's black superheroes and all the bad guys are the white guys.
Yeah,
they were totally amazed. But Warner Brothers and the Wachowskis and all these people are part of the greed. They were so greedy to make money that they didn't even care. Look, the Black Oracle, that's me. I wrote my own stuff in my own work because I admired Alfred Hitchcock. Stephen King did it, Spike Lee. They put themselves in their own work. It's not unheard of that an artist will put themselves in their work. You look at Matrix 1, this is no end, it's just the beginning. That's my concept. That's revelation. You look at the other two that's pulling away from my work, they're trying to get as far away from my work as they can. They wrote their own concept. Well, everything that has a beginning has an end. That's dead right there, because that don't even make sense.
Now, this must explain why the second two films seem to go so far astray from what the first Matrix was trying to point out.
Yeah, because what do they say in the Bible? A divided house will fall. How are you going to pull away from something that you supposedly created and try to get as far away from it like you're not any kin to it, you're not related to it, and you don't know what it's talking about? So let me just create my own creativity here. And it fails so sadly because I'm a master writer, just like Picasso. A master writer doesn't need a whole bunch of ghost writers to help them do anything. They don't even need any ghost painters.
Very interesting.
Painting a masterpiece, you're going to duplicate. I can duplicate the success. They can only complicate it. And that's what you saw. Reloaded and Revolutions is just complication.
Now, you said that you're a master writer, and looking at your bio, I found something to be interesting, too. Now, is this correct? Now, you skipped high school to go straight to college?
That's right. That's very correct. That's right. I took the New York Regents, went into college, got a degree in journalism, double minor in law and psychology, so I'm a paralegal. And, I didn't even need it. Tell you the truth. I did.
Wow.
I scored a 98 on the IRS exam. I could have worked for them anytime I was offered jobs. Also, I used to do taxes. I've been doing taxes since I was 12 years old. Prolific reader since I was like 6 years old.
Wow.
So I was reading
very
books
interesting
that you guys can't even imagine at 6 years old. And then I worked as a teenager. I worked for a construction company. I was doing their payroll, and I had no accounting courses or anything.
Now,
well versed in the numbers, to know the secrets of the numbers.
Now, that brings us to something else I wanted to ask you. Now, I've heard before in other interviews I've heard online and things that I've read, you spoke about sacred geometry in relation to the third eye. Can you explain a little bit how you use some of those teachings or themes or philosophies in the third eye?
Yes, I will. A lot of people don't understand the Bible is actually 3D. That's right, 3D. Look. The Old Testament is the past. The New Testament is our present, what we're living in right now. The future is Revelation. That's why it's hard to understand and what is to be. So look, when God was talking to everybody, he was talking in vibrations. There's no such thing as words. They don't exist.
Right.
Every alphabet is equated a number. Everything is vibrations. From the day you come into the world, you're given a number. To the day you leave this world, you're given a number because you're attached. That's right, you're attached, and everything that you live, and look around you, everything is numbers. Look at the phones, look at the school, look at the addresses, look at your social security numbers. Everything is geared around numbers, and so when God brought the world into existence, it was through vibration, it was through vibrations, and that's how everything manifests itself, through vibrations. That's why when you speak to God, you have to speak out loud, so the vibrations will resonate to him. You have to speak in truth. And if you look at his stories in the Bible, he's telling Noah, or he's telling people 40 days and 40 nights it's going to rain. 3 days is going to happen, or 3 days of this. Angels. He's speaking in numbers. You got to understand the numbers. He's not speaking in words. He is actually speaking in numbers. Right now, if I'm talking on a telephone, I'm vibrating. I'm resonating to you. You're hearing my vibrations. That's what you're picking up. That's where the word vibe comes from. When somebody says, I'm not vibing that, they're not feeling that.
Feeling that, correct.
Exactly. When you're not vibing that, you're not feeling that because it's not resonating on you.
Now, you made an interesting point when you said that what people they are taxed. By taxed, do you mean, is that being held accountable for what you say and what you do?
No, when I say taxes, I mean that you're taxed from birth to death, meaning that as soon as you come into the world, you're born into taxes, meaning that there will be an accountability of you and money charged against you. You know, in other words, it's a system. It's a number system is going on in the world. Look, when you go to the casinos anywhere, they don't kick out scholars. They kick out mathematicians. They're worried about people breaking and decoding their banks. They're worried about the people who have knowledge of numbers. They don't care about all the great knowledge people who say they're scholars and they read all the great books in the world and they can talk about how the universe came about. No, they're worried about people like Einstein and mathematicians.
And Rain Man, right.
That's right, and Rain Man. Exactly.
Very interesting.
You really got it. These are the people that they're worried about because the people who are in control and ruling this world, they know that everything is based on numbers. The masses just do not realize it. They've told people, you need to speak the King's English. You need to write grammatically. Even if you never wrote one word, if you knew all the slaves were so intelligent, so smart because they knew how to count. They could count the money. They didn't know how to read, but guess what? Reading wasn't important. Somebody made you think that reading was most important. That's the illusion that was created, one of the greatest lies ever perpetrated. You should have been telling your kids how to count, because that's what's important.
Now
math.
That makes sense, since it seems that living in a system of white supremacy, the one tool that's used against the victims of that system the most are words, meaning words and their definitions that do not reveal truth, that promote confusion in the minds of the people who use them.
Exactly, because the words are just deceitful. You can't get anything from deceitful words. You have to get things from vibrations because God is setting in concrete laws. Whether you can see these laws is irrelevant. You breathe every day. You feel that air. That's a physical law of God. You see the sun come across and it sets, it rises and it sets. It's all in motion by God. So therefore it doesn't matter what words man say or use. He used words to deceive. But I'm telling you, it's the numbers that reveal the truth. Just like they say, well, let me do an accounting. Let me go do some auditing. You do that auditing, you're gonna find accountability. You're gonna find out the truth. They don't come in there and say, let me talk to these people. Let me use some words. Let me give them pamphlets.
Correct.
No, they go in there and they start auditing with numbers.
Perhaps this is why so many people say that numbers don't lie.
And that's why they say that numbers don't lie. And numbers do not lie.